How do you tell if someone is attracted to you or just being very friendly? There's no good answer to that question. A million different people may give a million different signals, hints, signs that they are or are not interested in you romantically. What I found works for me and what I think is the kindest, least awkward way, both towards yourself and the other person, is to 1. Have some sort of consistently positive relationship repeated interaction with them first, and then 2. In a light-hearted and friendly way and without implying any kind of emotional pressure, just ask if they'd like to go on a date with you. Use the word date. If they say yes, congrats, they're into you at least enough to give it a shot and see where it goes. If they say no, for the love of all that is holy, don't take it as a personal insult. It probably isn't. Keep it light-hearted and take the refusal with grace. They aren't into you, and throwing a tantrum over it or trying to pressure them further isn't going to help them be into you whatsoever. Assuming the person is single or trifling, you ask to see that person again in a different context and the negotiation for available time and date is quick and mutually complete. No just friends overtone about it. Thursday at 8, not available, not into you. Thursday at 8, not available, but what about Friday at 9, else? Look for physicality, proximity, and eye contact when totally unnecessary. Jealousy or defeat, it's subtle, when interacting with someone else of the interested person's gender. Caveat all this with me being terrible about noticing it. My wife points this out to me when we're in public. Once I see it, it's obvious, but until then it's a mystery to me. If they ask you to take off your clothes, chances are they are just being friendly. Ask them. This is number 1. There was a waitress at a bar that my buddies and I had for like a year. I was into her, but couldn't tell how she felt. She was always fun and flirty, but I realized that when she would first walk up to our table, laugh or make a joke, she would look at me. I assumed that meant there was at least a chance she liked me, so I asked her out and she said yes. She was beautiful, had a great figure and was super down to earth. She also turned out to be someone who loudly cheered at high points of movies, and I just don't need that in my life. We went our separate ways. Really, with some people you cannot tell. I knew a girl who was super friendly with me. I got interested, and then a few weeks around her I saw this was how she treated every guy. Smiles. Oh stop it you, flirting. I wasn't special here. I moved on. I knew a girl who was friendly with everyone. We sat down at a birthday party and talked non-stop for 3 hours. She was friendly with people, but I hadn't seen her do this before. I got her number and called her. We talked until my phone died. Our 10th wedding anniversary was about 6 weeks ago. Our oldest kid turned 7 in a few months. For me, I flat out told him that I liked him and if he asked me out I would say yes. He said thanks and never asked me out or responded in any way that he liked me back. Bummer. A few months later we kissed. He was like, so, you like me? I should have smacked him upside the head. Apparently he thought I just said that to him to be nice. Assume attraction and ask them out. If they say no, you get your answer. If they say yes, you get a date. Step 1. Ask her out. Step 2.1. If she rejects you, you got your answer. Step 2.2. If she doesn't, she has a bad taste in men. It's not always easy. With my fiancée, when we started hanging out I would convince myself she liked me and then talk myself out of it. I would walk her home and she'd give me a really awkward friend hug then run inside, leaving me feeling like I'd misread the signals completely. This went on for about 3 weeks before we finally kissed at a party. I asked her about it afterwards and it turns out she was doing the same thing. 7 years and a proposal later, I think she might have a crush on me, guys. The friendly, honest approach has worked for me. You seem really nice, someone I'd like to go out with. If you'd like that too. If they're already spoken for or disinterested, they'll let you know. Either way, I've noticed that they seem to appreciate the attention, if they sense you're being sincere. It's not always easy to tell and I think I'm especially bad at it. For example, here is a story I shared related to this. My sophomore year of high school I had a couple of classes with this girl I had a crush on. Because teachers loved using alphabetical order there, she and I ended up sitting next to each other in those classes. We start passing notes in those classes, talking about random stuff and being a bit flirty. One day I decide to get the courage to ask if she wanted to go out with me to a movie or something. So, I ask her out in one of our notes. She replies saying that she's really sorry but she doesn't like me in that type of way. I was devastated, of course, but I also liked her as a friend and didn't want to lose that. So I replied saying that was okay and asking if we could just forget I asked and keep things the way they were because class would be so boring without our talks. She said yeah, that was fine, and we stayed note buddies throughout the year. Fast forward to my senior year. I had to repeat algebra because I messed up really badly my junior year due to some personal issues. I'm in a class with a bunch of people the grade under me and I get seated next to this girl named Kate that I thought was so pretty. Like with the other girl, we ended up passing notes to each other in class, and I come to find out not only did I find her physically attractive, but she was also a really awesome person with similar interests. I really liked this girl and crushed hard on her throughout the year. I would make her mix CDs that she would tell me she loved, and she even made me one a couple of times. I'd share with her stories I wrote and also art I was working on. The best part of my day was getting to talk with her during homeroom algebra, but I was scared of even trying to ask her out because of how I misinterpreted things last time, so I never did. Came really close a couple of times, but never did. A year and a half after I graduated, I'm dating a girl from the same class as her, who had been a friend of mine for a couple of years. We're hanging out with this other girl who was also in my math class, and she brings up Kate and asks why we never dated. I told her I didn't think she thought of me that way, and she was like, "Are you kidding me? She was so into you." At that time it didn't really matter anymore because I was in a relationship and there was nothing I could do about it, but it did frustrate just how bad I was at reading signals. I mean, I'm still pretty bad at it, but I wish I had at least tried with Kate. I've noticed women that have been interested in me have started a random conversation with me, like asking advice about something. If a woman compliments you on something, could be your eyes, or your jacket, or pretty much anything, that might be a clue. Women playing with hair, or adjusted more, making more than usual eye contact. Also, if you are sitting next to them, and their knees are pointing a bit towards you, that is a sign. As well, if they get under a table and start giving you head, also a clue.